Hi Crafty Cuties, we are going to experiment today. I'm wanting to make some type of a marbled paper, maybe like a dyed paper, and we're just going to try something out. I don't really know what is going to work, but I think we'll try two different ways. Today I'm going to be using this Martha Stewart marbling medium. I have not found too much direction on how to use this. There are directions on the back, but I'm just going to kind of make it up as I go. And I have some very inexpensive paints. I wanted to use these papers on my holiday journals. So I also have this hair oil. Now the reason I'm using this is because I have been watching different videos on pour painting. I don't know if there's a more technical term. And a lot of people will use some type of a pouring medium. Something called Liquitex, or there's all kinds of different things, and I wanted to see if I could use oil instead, because I have found a couple tutorials where people used things like glue, oil, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking for a certain ingredient. I'm literally just using what I have, okay guys? So I'll have the info down below for what this is called and everything, so you can, if it works out and you want to try it out. I have little cups, and I'm going to try to make little mixtures here. And this marbling paint, it has directions, and it says use 2 parts this to 1 part paint. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball this, just put some in, and I'm going to do this for each color. So you want to mix this with your colors before using it to marble our paper or different things. I'm using this Martha Stewart's metallic paint, so I'm just gonna try to do half of what I just put in. I should show you, I tried this last night actually, and I only put the oil in this rose gold color, and I remember I liked it a little bit better than just the blue, so that's another reason why I'm kind of going with it. So now I'm going to use some blue. I was wanting to use kind of wintry metally colors for this project. I think I'm going to use some gold as well. I think that will be cool. Just a little bit different than traditional colors that you would see for the holidays. Now I'm going to get something to mix. So for each cup, I'm going to add about just a drop of this oil. And remember, you could use something called Liquitex, I think it's just Liquitex, or a pouring medium. And I'll try to have more info down below for you guys on that. Now, I'm going to stir these up with some straws. One thing that I know from doing this last night was that this is really, really thick. And I don't want that for the papers that I'm going to have in my journals. I want it to be more like a dyed paper. So this is looking a little too thick. So I'm also going to add some water and water this down quite a bit. And again, I'm literally just experimenting here. So there's no way that I'm doing this wrong. We're just going to see what happens. And I'm adding a little bit of water now, and I may have added a lot. I didn't mean to add as much as I just did, but that's okay. I think it's gonna be okay. I have my work surface protected here just with some wax paper, but I think this is going to get a little messy. I also have a little pan here, which I may end up using. Okay, I have my papers cut down to the size that I want already, for like a traveler's notebook size. Now I did that because sometimes it's just a little bit harder to cut a paper down once you have it dyed, because it does get crinkly. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and put this in my pan, because I can tell this is really liquidy, like I keep saying. Okay, now I'm literally just going to pour these on. And as far as I understand, this medium is supposed to help give you a marbling effect. I don't know, we'll see, because I added in other things. So, I'm literally just going to dump some on here. And I think that by adding that oil and mixing these colors ahead of time, the colors are supposed to kind of stay separated rather than mixing. But again, I'm not using a real pouring medium, so I don't know. We can kind of see here. I'll add some of the gold, and because I've added water, I don't really know. I'm gonna actually pick this up and just kind of move it around. And if you were actually doing pour painting, like it's super popular right now, like on canvas and stuff, you would you would keep this a lot thicker. So this is definitely not the correct way to do it, if you will. No, I just added a lot and I didn't mean to, but that's okay. And I'm going to add up here. And you would also not let your paper get bent, or your canvas, I guess. You would more so just let it drip off the edges, but this is paper, so you can see the colors are definitely mixing here. And if we would have chose colors that would look okay when they mixed, I think it would be okay, but it is getting like a little brownish, and I definitely don't want that. But we're just gonna try to get the edges so that I can kind of finish this up, and we'll try to use the paint that's in the pan. I don't know, it is kind of mixing into just a brown color, but let's see here. We'll just kind of let that drip down. It does look cool, but it does also still feel a bit thick. So, and also this is a lot of product that I'm using. So this is not going to be a super cost-effective way to make paper, but I think if you wanted to make something special, like a tag or something like this, it could be cool. I definitely think I want to watch some more videos on pour painting to see if I can find out a good way to get a good mixture that can be used on paper. And the thing with pour painting is you'll see a lot of different cells of different colors. I'm literally just using my hands right now to color in those areas that did not get colored in. Now I'm going to take this out of this pan here and carefully lay it down on my surface, and we can see what we came up with. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. So it's looking pretty cool. You can see that it's wet, and because there's oil, the water and oil is not really mixing. I think we're going to need to wait until this dries to get a better idea of what it looks like, and I will show you guys that. I could use my heating gun too, but while we're waiting for this to dry, let's go ahead and try one other method. I'm not worrying about the fact that I have some paint on this area. I'm actually going to be dropping the paint right onto this wax paper surface. So I went ahead and I made up the same exact mixture, although this time I'm only going to use the rose gold and the blue, and I didn't mix the marbling medium in here too much. If you can see, it's not super mixed. I just want to try it out, and I'm literally going to pour this onto our surface, and I'll try to bring it down. There we go. You can see a little bit better. And I'm just going to pour the blue right on top. I didn't make it as watery either this time. Maybe I should have done that. I'm just going to kind of bring these into one another. And I will use my straw to kind of mix them into each other and to help spread it out a little bit. So now that I think about it, if I would have used a more watery mixture on here, that might have been a good idea. So I just added a little bit of water to the rest of this, and I'm just going to kind of pour that over the top. Might be ruining it, might not. Now you got to make sure this isn't going to go onto your floor. And you can see the more that I'm mixing here, the more that we are mixing these colors into one another and kind of taking away from that marbled effect. You can definitely see the marbled effect down here, but it's just not a big surface. So now I'm going to take my paper, and I think I'm just going to try to tap that on top there. Again, I do think that this is going to give us a really thick paint area, but that actually looks pretty darn cool. This is a pretty time-consuming paper, so again, I don't think this is something that I would do for, all of my pages in a junk journal, but I think for something special, like creating tags or something, that does look really, really cool. And now you can see that there's definitely leftover paint here. It's a little bit more mixed, but what you can do now is just take more paper and use up that paint. And you can see you're going to need a pretty big working area for this, because every time you dip another piece of paper in, you need a spot to lay it down flat. So, I mean, this definitely given us pretty cool results, and once these both dry, I will go ahead and show you a better close-up so we can see if, you know, you like one better than the other. I'm not sure. This definitely is not exactly what I was going for. I think that it's going to give us a pretty cool result, but I don't know if it's going to be something that can be written on very well. Yeah, and I'm gonna this is starting to just get very mixed in together. So this is what the outcome looks like. This is the one that we just poured straight onto the paper and kind of tipped it around. It is still a little bit wet. It's definitely going to dry quite thick. And then this is the one that we poured the colors into the pan and then dipped this in. It seems to be that it will be a little bit thinner, but yeah. So guys, I mean, this is definitely not exactly what I was going for. I have done marbled paper before using shaving cream and different paints. I absolutely think that that is a better option. I don't think the Martha Stewart marbling medium is anything special to me. And I don't know, maybe I'm using it wrong, but feel free to let me know down below if you guys have any tips. And I know that I've done a video long ago using the shaving cream method. It's very simple though. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions down below. I hope you liked seeing the experiment, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.